Good evening, everyone. I will call this Board of Aldermen meeting to order. If you'd please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, could I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Bowman.
Present.
Alderman Bockelman. Here. Alderman Reese.
Present.
Alderman Milner.
Present.
Alderman Dickerson.
Here.
Alderman Long is absent. Alderman Turner.
Here.
Alderman Levison.
Here.
And Mayor Hassig.
Here, and we do have a quorum. Good evening, everyone. We do not have any ceremonial matters for you this evening. I do have a small one. Alderman Reese, is your phone on silent now?
It is.
All right.
I turned it off when I came in.
I had a note to give you a hard time, sorry.
Thank you.
Before I open public participation, I wanted to make an announcement. The application for the woman's shelter down the street here on Pearl has been withdrawn, so that's not an item that will be discussed at this board at this point. So if you were here to speak about that, at this point that application has been withdrawn and will not be moving forward. With that, at this time I will open the floor to public participation. Anybody who has anything to bring before this board, please step forward.
Okay. I give up. You good, Randy?
Yeah.
Okay. Virgil Butler, 606 North King Terrace in Harrisonville. First, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to congratulate you on the last 4 years of your service. As a neophyte, when you swore in, you hadn't been in any of these chairs, and you took on a tremendous responsibility. And in your forethought and wisdom, you knew that you needed help. And when you returned to your, at that time, city administrator, you didn't think that the answers you were getting were correct. And so you turned to our attorney at that time. And the same thing, you didn't think the questions you were getting were having the right answers. So you went about on your own, seeking outside legal opinions. And I congratulate you on that item. On the audit, you were the first signature on the audit petition. And I thank you for that. Because you knew, as I felt, this city had a major problem somewhere. Being on the outside, we neither one knew where it was. The audit, we had to complete signature requirements in 6 weeks. There was 850 people, finally, after I got all the papers in, that were signed. It required 620. I called them to stop it simply for the fact I wanted it started as soon as possible. Then I find out that they couldn't get here until, the first time they told me it would be November, and we're in June. Then they call me and tell me that they had a whole lot of things on their plate and it'd be later. They had to do the state audit of the state first. For as long as I can remember, the city had been audited by a outside auditing firm. When I sat on the board, Beeman and Trout were our city auditors. After Mr. Beeman gave his annual report, at the tune of some 25 grand that we were spending, I asked him if he would just please tell the board that his city audit consisted of balancing our city checkbook. And he said, yes, my city audit is balancing the checkbook. So you can't really consider that outside audit of being an audit of the city funds and operation. Was one of the reasons that I wanted the state audit to do it. After they did that, the city received a poor rating. Not a fair, not a good, one step above fail, complete. They left you several recommendations on how to straighten it up. And thanks to your foresight again, You are happy. Thank you, Happy. This young man has been a large asset to this city. He has filled in a void that is remarkable that he's taken care of. And I am proud to say that he is our city administrator. There's things in the audit I probably shouldn't address, but it is public notice. It is on the computer that people want to know can look. But from day one, I nicknamed you to my friends as Harrisonville's own Donald Trump. Because I'm sorry.
I don't know if I want that.
Well, please, take it, bring it, 'cause that's not disclaimer.
I don't have the hair.
Well, if you didn't have the city staff, when you first came in, was not behind you. Their man didn't win. And so they were doing everything that they could possibly do to not let you even start to look good. And you made it through all of that, and in my estimation, came out smelling like a rose. You fought a lot of people that are on the Alderman staff. Your vote was 4-4, and you had to veto several tax districts. The TDDs, the CIDs, the TFS, the BFDs, whatever you want to call them, 353s, all cost the civilians if it's not carried forward out of their own pocket, if it's not paying for itself. And as I think I recommend, we don't have one of them in Harrisonville paying for itself. Southland down here has cost us several hundred thousands of dollars, if not millions. And it's time to stop that. And I believe that was the recommendation from the audit, is that we shouldn't have one for over 5 years. But with that all being said, I'll take my leave from you and wish you all the luck in the world for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak this evening? Seeing no one, I'm going to close public participation and move on to the approval of the minutes. First tonight, you have the minutes from the regular meeting of March 18th, 2019.
Mayor, I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Levison. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Moving on to our agenda items. First tonight, we have the second reading of Council Bill 13.
Second reading, Council Bill 13, an ordinance to rezone the property described as the Southland Shopping Center at 1799-1811 East Mechanic Street and 204-208 Oriole Street from the C1 Local Business Zoning District to the C2 Service Business Zoning District in the city of Harrisonville, Cass County, Missouri, and establishing an effective date.
Good evening.
Mayor, members of the council, this comes to you with a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission and a staff recommendation of approval. You had your public hearings at both the Planning and Zoning Board meeting and the BOA meeting. I don't know if you want to take any additional new information, but we recommend approval.
If there are no additional comments, I'll ask for the roll call. I have a roll call, please.
Alderman Dickerson. Aye. Alderman Levison.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Bowman.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
And Alderman Bockelman.
Aye.
All right, and Council Bill 13 will become ordinance 03460. Thank you. Next item, I will open the public hearing on the Meadows subdivision rezoning. Anybody who has anything they would like to say about that before we move on, now is your opportunity.
Just briefly, we found an error in the zoning. It goes way back to 1986. When this area over here was zoned, this portion of the Meadows subdivision, this area in here was to be the only area zoned R4. And in turn, and the rest of it was supposed to be zoned R1, and it's built out the way that it was originally intended, but the same legal description was used for both areas, whereas there was supposed to be one legal description used for the R4, and then another legal description used for the R1. Don't know if there's been any problems in the meantime, but in this era of full disclosure, we wanted to correct the zoning. So what we are proposing is that all the lots that have dots on them will be zoned R1. They'll go from R4 to R1, and just the lots that don't have dots on them, most of which are developed, fourplexes and duplex. There are 3 vacant lots that are intended to be duplexes, that they would stay R4. And Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval, staff recommends approval. And this is a public hearing item.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Anybody in the audience like to speak? If not, I will close the public hearing at this time, and we will move on to the reading of Council Bill 18.
First reading, Council Bill 18, an ordinance of the City of Harrisonville to amend the zoning map for lots 74 through 78 and lots 85 through 89, Meadowview 6th Edition, lots 61 through 73-A, and lots 105 through 114, Meadowview 7th Edition, lots 82 through 84, lots 91 through 100, and lots 102 through 104, Meadowview 8th Edition, from R4 Apartment Residential District to R1 Single Family Residential District, and establishing an effective date.
Okay. Any questions?
I have a question for Mr. Crowe. How did we discover this? How did this come to light?
We had an individual who lives there come in. They had had plans originally approved for their home with a 3-car garage, but just for financial reasons, just did not build the last garage. And so they were wanting to do it. It meets the setbacks for an R1 subdivision, but it didn't meet the setbacks for an R4. And so that's how we found it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have a question. The one lot on the south side of Meadowlark Drive,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have a dot,
Mm-hmm.
on either side of those are single family. Why is that one left out?
That one was originally intended to be a duplex.
Okay.
Just kind of like
Vacant lot.
this one, kind of like here is a duplex. And so that was intended to be a duplex lot.
Okay, intended to, but with single family on either side, it seems like maybe it should be single family. I guess if it was intended originally to be a duplex, it just seems funny to me to have a duplex and mixed in the middle of them.
Well, I mean, on one side of the road, it's on a corner.
Yeah,
So if you were, coming around the corner there, you would have the duplex first and then the single-family homes. I mean, you've kind of got that on, that same thing going right here. And, with the design of the duplexes that have gone in there, I think they've worked well. I was trying to just reset this to what was originally intended. And so that's why I didn't propose
Okay, so
to change that to R1.
I think you answered my question.
Okay.
But will that can that be an issue if someone wants to come in and just build a single family instead of a duplex?
That's allowed. That's allowed.
And then at that point, are we gonna have to go back and change it
No.
also?
No.
Okay. Any other questions?
I move Council Bill 18 to its second reading.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Milner to suspend the ruling and move Council Bill 18 to a second reading. Any further discussion? I'll need a roll call, please.
Alderman Dickerson.
Aye.
Alderman Levison.
Aye.
Alderman Long. Absent. Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Bowman.
Aye.
Alderman Bockelman.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
All right, second reading, please.
Second reading, Council Bill 18, an ordinance of the City of Harrisonville to amend the zoning map for lots 74 through 78 and lots 85 through 89, Meadowview 6th Edition, lots 61 through 73-A, and lots 105 through 114, Meadowview 7th Edition, lots 82 through 84, lots 91 through 100, and lots 102 through 104, Meadowview 8th Edition, from R4 Apartment Residential District to R1 Single Family Residential District, and establishing an effective date.
Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Bockelman,
Aye.
Alderman Bowman,
Aye.
Alderman Milner,
Aye.
Alderman Levison,
Aye.
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
Alderman Dickerson,
Aye.
Alderman Long, absent.
All right, and Council Bill 18 will become ordinance 03461. Next, we have the public hearing for the change in to light industrial zoning district and body shops. Yes. So if you are here to speak, I'll let Roger speak first, and then.
Yeah, very quickly. We had an applicant come in wanting to put in a body shop down on southeast outer road, about as far south as you can go. There's some M1 limited industrial land zoning down there. There's a gymnastics school down there and a few other buildings that have been other things. And they wanted to put a body shop in there, and we noticed that body shops were not allowed in the M1 zoning district, but they were allowed on the kind of the bookend zoning districts, the C2, which you see all along commercial and 291, and then M2, which is our heavier zoning district. They are allowed in both those districts, but not the M1. So we didn't think that made sense, so we're proposing to add body shops to a use in the M1 zoning district. It will also, but at the same time, we found we did have a couple other body shops in town on Industrial Boulevard and Anaconda Road that existing body shops, been there a while, were in the M1 zoning district. You know, in my mind, well, in my mind, this would bring them into compliance zoning-wise. So, recommend approval. Planning Zoning Commission recommends approval. Public hearing item.
Okay, and this is a public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing and we will move on to the first reading of Council Bill 19.
Council Bill 19 in first reading, an ordinance of the City of Harrisonville repealing Section 405.485 of the M1 Light Industrial Zoning District and enacting in lieu thereof a new Section 405.485 to allow as a permitted use automobile/truck body shops and establishing an effective date.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Do we want
Unless somebody has an issue, I
to,
don't
I'd
see
like to
reason.
suspend the ruling and move Council Bill 19 to a second reading.
A motion from Alderman Dickerson and a second from Alderman Turner to suspend the ruling and move Council Bill 19 to a second reading. Any further discussion? I need a roll call, please.
Alderman Dickerson,
Aye.
Alderman Levison,
Aye.
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
Alderman Long, absent, Alderman Bowman,
Aye.
Alderman Milner,
Aye.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Bockelman.
Aye.
All right, second reading, please.
Second reading, Council Bill 19, an ordinance of the City of Harrisonville repealing Section 405.485 of the M1 Light Industrial Zoning District and enacting in lieu thereof a new Section 405.485 to allow as a permitted use automobile/truck body shops and establishing an effective date.
And I'll need a roll call again, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Bowman,
Aye.
Alderman Milner,
Aye.
Alderman Reese,
Aye.
Alderman Levison,
Aye.
Alderman Dickerson,
Aye.
Alderman Long, absent, Alderman Bockelman.
Aye.
And Council Bill 19 will become ordinance 03462. That concludes our agenda items for this evening. Alderman committee reports. Alderman Bowman.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to remind my colleagues and the audience that April 27th is the drug take-back for the police department and the volunteers and police service. There'll be 2 locations again for you, on the parking lot at CVS and at the police department, and those hours are from 10 until 2. It's a great opportunity for you to get rid of unwanted and expired drugs and non-prescription items, get them out of your house, and have them properly disposed of. I also mentioned at our last meeting that this is a particularly special drug take back because we're doing it in honor of Terry Branson, who was a DEA agent that we lost very tragically a few months ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Bachman. Alderman Reese.
Not tonight, no phone.
Hey, you did great. Alderman Miller.
No, I don't know.
Alderman Dickerson.
Everybody get out and vote tomorrow.
Alderman Turner.
No.
Alderman Levis.
I just want to say thank you, Brian. Thank you for being you. You've been great.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
This could be the last night I sit up here, so.
You never know.
You never know. But I just want to say you've been great and happy. You've been awesome and
All right.
you've all been wonderful.
Very good. Mr. Welch, what do you have for us?
Just to add to my report that I included, we have cleanup day coming up May 10th and 11th. This will be the citywide cleanup. It'll be out at Municipal Waste Services. And then on June 1st will be household hazardous waste. So a couple of those events coming up. We'll be advertising and getting the word out.
Any word on, I know it's starting to dry finally. I've had people ask again about brush. People, I think, have been extremely patient, which I know we've kind of been limited by the weather. Are we, any idea on how that's?
So Eric was checking it every day last week and then it rained. So, yeah.
So if we can go with a spell without some rain, we'll,
That's what we're waiting for.
Okay.
So we'll keep checking the property, make sure it's
Okay.
ready. We'll schedule something.
Okay.
Couple of times.
okay. Well, anybody that does updates, please put that out there so as many people know that it's not just dragging our feet, it's just the weather. I know my yard, I step into it and you can feel it sinking under your feet still. So it's just taking a while. We got a lot of moisture. So, all right.
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, a reminder, next month we'll start, Junk in the Trunk will start back up. I believe it's the second Saturday of the month. So if you don't sell everything or find everything you want that first weekend for garage sales, then remember that Junk in the Trunk will be there. I want to thank everybody who sent me get well wishes. In the last meeting, I don't know if you noticed, I did not look like I was feeling well, and I just went downhill from there. Woke up about a week ago with my face swollen and found out I had an infection of some kind. So I had a little bit of a rough road, but just a lot of good people wishing me well. I think that probably did me just as good as the medicine. Tomorrow is the election. Get out and vote. No matter what happens, at the next meeting, the sun will set on my first term in office. I want to say thank you to everybody. It's been a good experience this first term. Again, nobody knows what will happen tomorrow, but I think the city will keep moving forward, and the big thing I want to push to people is we got to be working together, not against each other. We've got a great city here, and we've got a lot of people that care about it, and we've got a lot of good things going on with Love the Square and the square coming back, and we've got new businesses interested in our vacant properties that had the TIFs expire. So a lot of good things on the horizon, and it takes everybody. It's not just the few people that sit up here, it takes everybody. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you, and I hope everybody has a good evening. Mr. Dickerson?
I move that the Board of Aldermen go into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the revised statutes of Missouri. Section 610-021 to discuss legal actions and any confidential private information with their attorney.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, a second from Alderman Levison. I'll need a roll call, please.
Alderman Bowman.
Aye.
Alderman Long, absent. Alderman Livingston.
Aye.
Alderman Dickerson.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Milner.
Aye.
Alderman Reese.
Aye.
Alderman Bachman.
Aye.
All right, and we are adjourned to executive. Good night, everybody.